The following is a fan-based discussion. All properties discussed are property of Toei Inc., Bandai, Hasbro, and Subaru Productions. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Tokutalk.
Yes.
Today, Marcus and I are going to talk about period pieces we would like to see.
Yes.
Throughout Tokusatsu.
Yes.
And to begin with, because we did just review Go Ranger.
Yes.
Which was filmed in the 70s. And that's the thing about pretty much all Toku, with very few exceptions. Some of the animated spin-offs that we reviewed, like the Gara ones, they've been set during different time periods.
Yeah.
They've dabbled with it in movies and whatnot, but we've never had a show that isn't set when, a time period aside from when it was filmed.
How do you mean?
They all take place in the present as to what the present was when they were filming it. So
Yeah.
Go Ranger takes place in 1976. Jetman takes place in 91. So on and so forth.
Yeah.
So, what are some periods throughout history, or, alternate histories, if you will, that we would like to see?
Some AUs.
Some AU stuff. Get that tag on there.
Just because they sort of actually touched on it in the show proper, but I would love to see something from that era. I want to see the first Shinkenders.
Oh, okay. Nice.
They actually do something with it, and I'm just like, I would love for them to just how we got to this point in the show, especially because it's such a long lineage of things. I feel like when you have such, there's sort of an established lore already in the show proper. I would love to see Braderon's team from Go Sager, how he got to the fall. I know he betrayed them, but I would love to see what led up to that. Maybe just like a one-off special or something, especially because he's such an interesting villain.
Because Shinkender, I think, is a good place to start, because what is the one Japanese time period that the media always seems to go back to? It's feudal Japan.
Yeah.
So why not start there? If doing a period piece set in feudal Japan where our team or heroes are either samurai or ninja, something along those lines.
I want to do after the samurai became illegal.
Okay.
For that period for them.
Okay.
To see how they adapted, especially with the advent of firepower during that era. I would love for them to do something with that set in Shinkender's timeline. That would be very interesting.
So would our heroes be the samurai who are outlaws, or would the...
Yes.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So they'd be outlaw samurai.
Yeah.
Interesting.
This 7 samurai, but it's them.
Yeah, hey, that works.
I would love for them to do something like that. There's such a rich, abundant history, especially we know a lot of Japanese history just based on videos that we've seen and things like that. I would love for them to do more period pieces with teams that have already been established. That way, it also doesn't have to be the same people.
True. You can use different actors, because we also have Ninja is another example where we have lineage of ninjas. I'm sure Kaku Ranger is something you could do something with.
Kaku Ranger does, because we have their ancestors that show up in the first couple episodes.
Even something like Ryu Soldier.
I'm good without
it. Quality of Ryu Soldier aside, it would still. I still think that if you did a period piece, we said it long ago, distant land.
Long ago in a distant land.
Precisely, and we see the formation of the Dinosaur Knights.
Yeah.
I think that'd be cool.
I feel like you could almost do something with Z-Ranger as well, but the less I enjoy the show, the less I want to do
the less you want to see. Well, we're not just limiting this to shows that we already know. Just, if you did a new series.
A period piece, I feel like an updated Mega Ranger, especially even if they did it now. Technology has changed so much.
Technology has changed quite a bit.
1997. So I would love for them to do an update.
Oh, okay. So a more modern adaptation. That's interesting. All right.
I feel like you can't always go to the past. You gotta go to the future too. And that's one of those things where updating it to right now, I made that video on the original Sentai. I'm just like, they did something like that updating Mega Ranger.
I would like to update Mega Ranger, but set it in the far future.
Oh my god!
That is something like set it in the year 3000.
Wow.
Meanwhile, in the 21st century,
I was gonna say like 2156.
There you go.
I don't know why specifically that year. It's like that number, but if it works, it works.
In the not too distant future.
One
thing I would love to see. I would love to see, because the most recent Sakura Wars game planted this scene in my brain, but I would love to see a Taisho era steampunk affair.
Okay.
With where our robots are steam powered behemoths trundling through the streets to fight the monster. That is something I would like to see. I would love to see them toy around with smaller mechs, the way Sakura Wars does, because everyone has their individual mechs. And then
they sort of did that in Dawn Brother. They're actually doing it now.
Yeah. And why not do it again?
Yeah.
This time with period costumes.
The new is just like, mechs, maybe for like a minute and a half at most. We don't need them.
God bless you, sir.
We really don't. I'll just,
I mean, like anything, if it's done well, if it's done
I'm not
well.
even going to allude why they have them. They just do. I don't give a damn. I love it.
But yeah, I would love to see a period piece like that. Any kind of like organized crime, dealing with that as the bad guys. Gangster period piece. That's
yeah. Actually, that could be. Do you want them to be the organized crime members, or do you want them to be fighting like them cops again?
Well,
because we sort of did that with Lupat.
We did, but in terms of like setting it back in the past, where because I would also like to see them try what Pokemon Legends Arceus did, where the technology is also regressed back.
Yeah. And to make stuff
to see if we had to see them make their own costumes or build their own mechs, and it isn't all magic based. I mean, it essentially is, because we're dealing with science fiction, but but to have a little more of a grounded take, I think would be pretty cool. And I would have them be the ones fighting the organized crime.
Okay.
They would be like a special task force
in the 1920s.
Yeah.
Where bullets apparently cost nothing. Shoot to the side of the building. This is us. And as long as you aren't there when the police show up, you basically got away with it.
Yep.
Until they get you for tax evasion.
True.
Al Capone.
Mm-hmm. That or you die in a fiery explosion.
Also that.
James Cagney. But yeah, that's one I would like to see. Does anything else spring to your mind?
I'm just going through all the season. We haven't really even talked about Ryder as much. I would love to see Ultra Kings, him growing up. I feel like there's probably a manga about that out there, but I would love to see how did he get to this point, especially with the Ultra Brothers being a thing. I would love for that to be shown, or even maybe some of the origin stories, or really some of the old Ultras. Ultraman Noah would be an interesting one, because I believe, I could be completely and utterly wrong about this, he might be one of the first. So I would love to see how the Land of Light came to be.
Not a bad idea. So one that I would love to see, particularly one I would like to see with Kamen Rider, especially, if you could bring the writers from the Like a Dragon series on board, I would love a Yakuza piece set in the 1970s or 80s.
Oh, do it during the late 80s and early 90s before the boom collapsed. I love that period of Japanese history. It's such an interesting time to learn about. Everything else that happened after that, with the Bank of Japan just collapsing in on itself. And driving up interest rates and things like that. You can learn about part of this during Yakuza 0, where it ends up being Majima's fault.
There you go.
I love that. Oh, it's a big Majima's fault. Damn it, Majima. We stand.
But yeah, that is. I would love to see. I would love to see a Kamen Rider as a Yakuza member battling a rival gang. battling a rival family.
That could be an interesting one.
And yeah, set it in either that time period. I say the 70s because there was something about filmmaking in the 70s, the world over. I'm using mainly my knowledge of American cinema, but there was like a grit to it. There is a grit to it that you don't really see in anything that has come since. But yeah, that period you're talking about, yeah, that sounds like a perfect spot for it. Yeah,
especially because they had to deal with the fallout, so it would just be a really interesting time.
It could be there in the backdrop, or if you said it earlier, and this one, it's the lone wolf's rise to power against a family living in obscene decadence.
Yeah,
I think that'd be really cool.
But yeah,
anything else jump to your mind, or
not that I can think of right on top of my head.
There we go.
All right.
But what are some you would like to see?
Yeah. Let us know in the comments below.
Yes, that.
Don't forget to join us all the things, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Thank you for watching.